Well, it's back, and I am not referring to the program either, even though we're glad to have you tuning in and spending a little time with us this evening, this Thursday, the 26th, talking about the winter weather. We've got flurries on and off through tomorrow night. Pretty decent but cold day Saturday, but potential for some accumulating snowfall on your Sunday. In fact, right now estimates 1 to 3 inches for a lot of eastern Kentucky, which gives a chance at least for maybe a snow day for a lot of students on Monday. Some classes already called off tomorrow in parts of eastern Kentucky, but not because of the weather. We'll talk about your weather forecast, those closings, and much more before I leave you tonight, and we'll also talk about the backpack program in a heartwarming and inspirational story that I was able to do because I had so many individuals wanting to be a part of it on Johnny Cash, their beloved friend and pet from South McGoffin Elementary. We had hoped to inspire doing that report, some inspiration to lead to some support of the school backpack program. So tonight we're going to check in and see how well we did. We'll have a report on a bad day for some folks. Altogether, 3 arrested twice in the same day and jailed in the Big Sandy Detention Center. And some high school basketball scores. Tomorrow night's Paintsville-McGoffin County Hornet doubleheader was contingent on the Lady Tigers' performance yesterday afternoon in the first round of the State All-A Classic. So I'll tell you how all that's going to work out and get you up to date on some scores and stats and schedules in just a few moments. As far as schools closing tomorrow, well, they are going to be out, not due to the weather, but due to the illnesses that have been pouring in, whether it's confirmed cases of the flu, of which there have been some, or just a good old-fashioned virus or stomach bug. Schools in Perry County, Lee County, and Owsley counties are all seeing attendance rates fall down to about 84 to 86% on average, and that's pretty much below the threshold that it takes to keep the lights on, so to speak. And, of course, in an effort to help keep the illness from spreading, they've called off school for tomorrow. So all students and staff will have the weekend off, I do believe. Other folks will not, as they'll be, of course, cleaning and sanitizing the entire system district-wide in those 3 counties. I spoke with Superintendent, actually messaged Superintendent of McGoffin County Schools, Scott Helton, a few moments ago, and he says there were some cases of illness, but nothing more really than what they would expect this time of year, and nothing to indicate they will be calling on classes at this time. We certainly hope that is the case for the rest of the season. Well, a rough day for some folks in eastern Kentucky who found their way not once but twice in less than just a few hours to the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center. Checking jail records is a daily chore around here, and today I noticed these similarities. 3 individuals, all arrested, not together, 2 of them together, 1 separate, but 3 people, all from Lawrence County, all taken to the Big Sandy jail not once but twice in the same day. The first case goes back to Monday of this week, where at around 2:40 or so, close to 3 o'clock, police citations say that an officer with the Louisa Police Department made an arrest for shoplifting at the Family Dollar store. This woman, Cherry L. Kincaid, was charged with shoplifting, theft by unlawful taking under $500. She bonded out a few hours later, and shortly before 8 o'clock the same evening, after being released from the Big Sandy jail, Paintsville police charged her with public intoxication of a controlled substance excluding alcohol, and she was once again taken back to jail that evening, this time not released until the following day. While these 2 Lawrence County residents, and I want to make sure I get this right, on yesterday were both arrested together at the same time, however, in 2 different counties by 2 different police departments. The second one, in the second county, the arrest for stealing a car after they had been released from jail and were trying to find a way home. The scenario is, according to court records, that yesterday, Joan Kimball, who's 25, and 49-year-old Gary Cochran, seen here, were arrested yesterday morning around 6 o'clock in Martin County by the Martin County Sheriff's Department. Joan Kimball was charged with several traffic infractions: no operator's license, no registration plates, no registration receipt, failure to wear seat belts, no insurance, failure to register transfer of a motor vehicle, while Cochran was charged with giving an officer a false name or address and public intoxication, excluding alcohol. So both were arrested around 6 o'clock in Martin County that morning, taken to the Big Sandy jail. They bonded out a few hours later, and at about 10:45 that morning, 5 to 6 hours later, both had bonded out, were leaving the jail, left the jail on foot, found a car left running at a gas station, the one just down the road from the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center, got in the car, stole it, and left. They were caught just a few moments later. They were arrested by authorities from the Paintsville Police Department. This time, Kimball charged with theft by unlawful taking or disposition of an automobile, and Cochran was charged by theft by unlawful taking or disposition of an automobile as well as disorderly conduct in the second degree. And they got a free ride back to jail, again, for the second time in a matter of hours. Nothing more to say on that, so let me just say this. I'll be right back. Our update on the backpack program. A really good story. Coming up in just a second. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. Now for an update on Johnny Cash and the inspiration and legacy that he left behind. I was thinking today, trying to put together an intro for this report, that the fact is that times are hard and harder for some. And while I know a lot of folks are in a good place or doing okay, I don't know any of those folks who at some point in their life did need a little help. We all do it sometime in our lives, and right now, at this very time in our lives, many of our kids and their families do. Jobs get lost, parents get sick, there are countless other things that can affect our children. And having something to eat over the course of the weekend, some food on the table, shouldn't be one of the things that our kids should have to be concerned or worried about. But the reality is a lot of them are. But thanks to the backpack program, many do not have that concern, but there's still a need. Every week, Amanda and Geraldine, that you're about to see hard at work, and whoever else who happens to be there and on the clock at the Montgomery County Extension Service, well, they all stuff backpacks every week, about 3 dozen backpacks full of food for students to take home to have something to eat while classes are out for the weekend. It's a program that was a pet project, if you will, of Johnny Cash from South Montgomery Elementary, who made the trip every week to the Extension Service with Principal Mark Rice to pick up the backpacks and take them back to school for a number of students and their families. And in honor of Johnny Cash's memory and legacy, Mr. Rice and some folks and myself all a few weeks ago made a plea for some donations to the backpack program, which had fallen on some tough times. Instead of adding more kids to the list, they were instead having to make the most of every dollar and donation more than ever before just to keep it going for the ones that they already had. So let's see how folks responded.
I received several donations. I have a estimated calculation of close to $700, but that's not everything that we've received. I've not been out to pick everything up. But now Johnny Cash was a part of the backpack program. He would come here with Mr. Rice to pick up the backpacks. So he's actually been in here. And the backpacks are meaningful to the kids just as much as he was. So I mean, kids need something, and he was that something. So people really saw that, and they did give.
Are any of those you think maybe going to be recurring? And my purpose here today is not just to let everybody know that to thank those people who came in, but also to still try to encourage maybe some more, because there's such a need. So are you hopeful that some of those might be recurring? And obviously there is room for more people to come in and still donate.
I do have hopes for some of them. But like I said, you know, if it's a one-time donation, we accept it. But we would like to. We have lost some big sponsors, and we would like to have some reoccurring so that it's not a stress as to if it's going to be able to last, but it's going to be how long and how big can we get it to be. Because, I mean, it's minimal now, but it has opportunity to grow.
The backpack program has been around for longer than 10 years. Amanda's been employed with the university for that long, and it was in existence before she got there. And she says it's continued to grow each and every year. And it's more than ever a very thought-out process to balance healthy foods with something kids will actually eat and enjoy, often something that they can fix themselves. Right now, being funded by about $300 a week in monetary donations and much more than that in food sources from various individuals and businesses and organizations.
We're trying to find other places to shop to buy things cheaper. And ramen noodles, I work with the SNAP program, and my job is to teach nutrition to kids. And we try to pick healthier things, like we used to give out treat, and we changed from treat to tuna because tuna's healthier. We do the peanut butter for the protein, and ramen noodles are not, they're very bad for kids, but we do use them because they are something that a young child can fix on their own. Because we mix it with things that kids can eat without help, and then things that they need adult help with. We have 32 families now on our backpack program, and we fill 32 backpacks. North McGoffin has already picked theirs up. The kids bring the backpacks. They take it home on Friday. They bring it back on Monday or before Wednesday. The Resource Center brings it back up here, and we fill them on Thursday, and the Resource Center picks them back up on Friday. So if it's gonna snow and there's no school on Friday, we try to add an extra day and they can pick it up on Thursday. Now, what we put in the backpack is shelf-stable items. It is the first of the month we do peanut butter. We always put crackers in. We do soups. We do the rice dinners. We do fruit, mac and cheese, tuna, viney sausages, ramen noodles, and vegetables or whatever extra we have. We do a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner for Saturday and Sunday when the kids are home. Our breakfasts are usually like cereal bars or a box of cereal. And then we'll do like soup or tuna or something for lunch, and then we do the rice meals and mac and cheese for dinner. It's not a big meal, but it's something.
And to make all of this happen, you can imagine it takes a lot of support. Each one of those backpacks represents anywhere from 2 to 5 children in a family. That's heavy. That's 20 to I don't know how many pounds for each backpack. And for a small child, well, that's a big deal. And with teachers, bus drivers, parents also helping, it is a project that encompasses a community. And it also involves volunteers, of which there's always room if you need to get in a few community service hours or would like to do so, maybe with another type of a project. Call and see about getting some time in at the Extension Service. There are also people who were on the backpack program, who have finished, who have moved on, who've made some lifestyle changes or choices, but come back to help fill the backpacks or hold food drives at their church or somewhere else or just on their own to try to support the program that gave so much to them.
We try to teach them how to provide for themselves. Like, you can be on the backpack program a full year, and at the end of that year, if you can come off the program and stay off of it for a year, you can get back on it. But it's kind of to try to give them an idea of, I've managed with this backpack for this amount of time, I can buy things like this myself, and kind of, but if it's an absolute need and the school says so, the principals say so, anybody says so, they can continue on the backpack program as long as there's a need. Wintertime is rough, you know, 'cause everybody's electric bills go up, and, you know, we have really good turnover as far as kids bringing back their bringing their backpacks back. Like, some years, kids, one school will start out with 10, and by the end of the year, they'll have 5 that actually bring their backpacks. This year and last year, we've had really good turnout for kids who actually bring the backpacks back. So there is a need, or those children wouldn't, you know, be responsible to bring it back. And there are kids who worry. If they're given bad weather or there's a holiday, they do worry whether they're going to get their backpack or not. So it is a good program. And it's near and dear to my heart. And Jarlene, she and I both have, if somebody's needed something, we've actually got it ourselves. So, I mean, she brings stuff in and puts in here. I bring stuff in and put in here. So, I mean, it's a good program.
And let's keep in mind, to be perfectly honest, it is a program that I, and now you, for the most part, I do believe, would not have known as much about had it not been for one very much loved dog who very much loved the backpack program. It's funny how things work out in this world. Nevertheless, it's also a program where there is plenty of room for support. I mean, we're talking about $300 a week. A great deal of money. In some respects, not so much. And there is room for that much more to be donated and that much more food that they're already getting to be donated. And they could use every single crumb and every single package of it, just adding more families to the list. So if it's something that you think you can help, as have the many people who so far have graciously donated since seeing the Johnny Cash story, well, it's as simple as calling or coming by your Magoffin County Extension Service or your Family Resource Youth Service Center at your elementary school. And do us a favor. Tell them Johnny Cash sent you. Still a lot of ground left to cover this evening. It all begins right now with announcements per your Magoffin Farm Bureau community calendar. Really just a couple of announcements that aren't until next week, so let me save those for tomorrow or early next week. Trying to save some time to work in the rest that we have to bring you tonight, and we'll do so by going ahead now to your funeral service announcements brought to you by our friends at the Magoffin County Funeral Home, with a reminder that the information on your screen, that's how you get announcements on our calendar. All you have to do is tell me, we'll tell everyone about them. Service announcements begin with a reminder of those to be held in honor of Wade Isaac. I do have the time, just not on your screen, but we want to mention that Wade Isaac, 85, of Mud Lick Road, passed away on the 24th, earlier this week, preceded in death by his wife, Merlene Gullett Isaac. He's survived by sons Billy Joe, Wade Jr., Keen Edward, Matthew and Adam Isaac, and Marcus Castle. Daughters surviving include Judy Williams and Sheila Prater. Visitation began this evening at 5 and continues all day tomorrow. Masonic rites tomorrow evening at 7. Services Saturday morning at 11, all from the Magoffin County Funeral Home. I've also received some information on the services of Lewis Franklin, better known as Ned Kazee, 86, of Mash Fork Road, who passed away on today's date. I just received a note just a few moments ago from the Magoffin County Funeral Home that visitation will start tomorrow at 6 in Ned's honor, and then services will be Saturday at 2, and that is visitation tomorrow night and visitation Saturday before services at 2. That will all be from the Sagersville First Baptist Church in Ned's honor. Now, before we go on to talk about some snow showers that will certainly pick up for the latter part of your weekend, an update on some high school basketball, but I have more to come tomorrow night. But a couple of things we want to make note of before tomorrow night, because there was a bit of a contingency on the turnout for the first round for the Lady Tigers at the State All-A Classic. They did not advance yesterday over Harlan, so the game is scheduled for tomorrow night. A Paintsville-Magoffin County doubleheader will continue as scheduled. So here's the situation. No change for the boys, for the Magoffin County Hornets, this after their win over Belfry on Thursday night, 46-40. They're still 13-7. The boys will host Paintsville tomorrow night, the boys game, in the second game of the evening, starting at 7:30. Of course, this is a district game, one of only 2 district games left for the Hornets, the other being at Johnson Central on February the 2nd. For the Lady Hornets, they'll be the first half of that doubleheader tomorrow night, coming after their loss to Pike Central on Saturday. The Lady Hornets sitting at 5-12. This, too, tomorrow night, one of only 2 district games left for the Lady Hornets, so all important. The other one for them, that will be hosting Johnson Central February the 3rd. That's a Friday. That's next Friday, I guess. So, doubleheader tomorrow night, still on tap for the Hornets and Lady Hornets. The Lady Hornets are in action tonight. Tip-off was at 6. I may not make it to that game, but they were hosting Shelby Valley tonight. Well, I've got a few moments. Let's take a look at Johnson Central and Paintsville. The Johnson Central Eagles have a doubleheader tomorrow night, too. They're hosting Sheldon Clark. As for the boys, they've got district games left on their schedule, including the one with Sheldon Clark tomorrow night, and then Magoffin County on Thursday of next week, and then Paintsville on February the 10th. So 3 district games left for the boys from Central. They are right now at 16-6. That, of course, coming after their win hosting Belfry last night. 76-68 was the final score. They are 1-2 in the district and hosting Sheldon Clark tomorrow night. The boys' game will start at 7:30. While, of course, the Lady Eagles will be the first half of that doubleheader. As for the Lady Eagles, they're coming off of a win in the Lady Hawk One-Day Showcase on Saturday at Pike Central, a win over Perry County Central, 76-62, 15-5 for the girls. They've got 3 district games left. Tomorrow night's meeting with Sheldon Clark, next Friday here at Magoffin, and then February the 10th, crosstown at the Tigers, Lady Tigers, that is. And speaking of the Tigers, tomorrow night's doubleheader, of course, will be one of 3 district games left for them. They're here at Magoffin County tomorrow night. Next Friday, they host Sheldon Clark, and then February the 10th, they host Central, as I kind of referred to a few moments ago. The boys are at 6-12, winless in the district right now, but they've got 3 chances left to get a district win, and, of course, they're going to be here at Magoffin tomorrow night. And to be honest, we were hoping that they weren't, because that would have meant the Lady Tigers had advanced to today's second round in the State All-A Classic. But it didn't turn out that way, sadly. 38-51 was the final score against Harlan in the first round of the State All-A Classic. But, of course, they were the regional champs, of which they went out in the first round with only their second loss on the season. Lady Tigers sitting at 19-2. District games left for the Lady Tigers here at Magoffin tomorrow night. They're hosting Sheldon Clark next Friday and then hosting Central on February the 10th. So still a lot of district play left, but right now they are undefeated in the 57th. Now let's close it out with a little look outside where nothing's really happening here weather-wise. Don't expect a whole lot. I mean, just a tiny few flurries or 2 today, and we're going to see those kind of hit and miss throughout tomorrow and tomorrow night. For tonight, I'm at 39 right now. We'll fall another 10 degrees or so down to 29. Cloudy skies. Can't rule out a snow shower or 2. Or some flurries tonight. Winds have been kicking about, and they've made a difference. Right now, clocking one out of the west at 6 miles per hour. We've seen some gusts upwards of 15 or so. Nevertheless, those winds will keep coming out of the west into tomorrow as well. For your Friday, a 20% chance of snow showers. Cloudy skies to start off. Winds still out of the west, 7 to 20. Chance of snow showers increases by tomorrow night. No major accumulation, not going to be a big major traffic impact at this time. I want to stress that, but it will dip well below freezing, so it won't take a whole lot tomorrow night. We'll get a bit of a break in the action for Saturday. I think we'll even see some sun on the first half of your weekend, even though we have a chance of some flurries early. Sun, I think, throughout most of the afternoon. Winds still coming out of the west at 7 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday night, still a chance of flurries, and then things start to build into the latter part of your weekend. And they could, on your Sunday, add up to about 1 to 3 inches of total accumulation. We'll know more tomorrow, but right now, first call looking at 35 on your Sunday, a 40% chance of snow showers early. Sunday night, after 8 o'clock, we might be the heaviest of the snowfall right now, and you'll see we're barely going to be above freezing during the day, and certainly won't be that night. So any snow that falls, I expect will cause some traffic problems early Monday morning when that snow will still be well on the ground. How much we're going to see yet? Well, yet to be determined. We'll try to pinpoint it better tomorrow. 31 Monday, mostly cloudy, only some flurries on the back end of all that. Tuesday, 46, and definitely rebounding with some partly sunny skies. That'll wrap it up for tonight. Thanks for being here as always. As always, we hope to see you back here tomorrow. This time wrapping up another week here at Your News Today. Good night.